Yo, what's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Mama Knows Best, Sorta, episode 33. But before we get into the podcast,
Yeah, before we get into the podcast, look, I noticed that
before we get into the podcast, she had to be muted. You know what? I'm not even arguing with modern women no more. If you're a modern woman and you come on my platform, you get muted. So before we get into the episode, remember to like, subscribe. You know, we want every new subscription. We want to see more comments, but we also want to thank everyone who continues to watch our podcast. We really like it. I am taking applications to replace Mama. Remember, I am taking applications to replace Mama. Remember. But today's episode, hold on, let's bring Mama back. Let's get her off mute. Today's episode, we're gonna be talking about relationships, healing, whether you should be healed going into relationships, getting over your ex, all the whole 9 yards. And I'm wondering,
before
are
we
you
get
ready
into
for this
that,
smoke? Are you ready for this smoke?
I'm ready for the smoke, but we gotta address the obvious. Why you got that thing on your head?
Well, at the timing of this episode, this is April 9th. My birthday is in a week. I will be going to New York. Shout out Destiny for setting that up. We're going to New York this weekend to celebrate my birthday. And so I'm going grizzly bear look at ESPN and I'm going nigga mode on this weekend. So you lay back, okay? This podcast don't take precedence over my birthday, okay?
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
You didn't address my wig. This is episode 33. I got a new wig. I mean, what we
Well,
doing?
this is episode 33. Let's get our special guest up here, Miss Kimberly. Okay, my mama is just she said she wanted some more old heads, and we getting the old heads. I mean, it's just old head after 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 old head.
That's enough. That's enough.
After old head. But let's get Miss Kimberly up here for this topic. Miss Kimberly, and I'm gonna give you before you even speak, if I can say that respectfully, I gotta give you the rules of this podcast. I know the title is deceiving. It says Mama Knows Best, Sorta, but I'm the executive producer. I am the creator of this, and so there are some few rules. You only can speak when spoken to. You cannot interrupt son. If you want to interrupt that woman with that wig on her head, you can interrupt her. But you will answer the questions that I ask you, and you will speak when spoken to, and you cannot interrupt me. Do you understand the rules?
Now, first of all,
Right. Don't let the smile fool you.
Right. Okay. Thank you. But I've been knowing you since before you was born. So don't even start that mess with me. But okay, let's go.
Yeah, we'll play the game.
Before we get into the question, though, we do got to introduce. This is one of my mother's closest friends. I see her all over Instagram. I think she's from Kansas City. I mean, can we get a 15?
No.
Okay, that's why we need a 20-second ball blast. Can we get a 20 to 30-second ball blast?
Go ahead, Kim.
So I'm not from. I currently reside close to Kansas City, but I'm actually from the Lou. So I'm always gonna represent the Lou. So,
going down, baby. You go street in the rain.
Can you let her talk, please?
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what else you want to know. Like I'm a working professional. I am a part-time college professor.
Yeah.
I am I'm just a woman out here living in this world, making it work.
That part.
Sounds like 2025. Oh my God.
Woman.
It sounds like so can we kick it to the modern woman for this first question, Miss Kimberly or Miss Kim? Should you date when you have feelings for your ex still? And let me repeat that question. Let me repeat that question for the audience. Should you date when you have feelings for your ex still?
Number one, for me, if they my ex, why I got feelings for them? I wouldn't have feelings for them anyway. Okay, I'm just saying. But for those, I understand relationships are complicated, and sometimes it's not that hard to just cut ties and walk away. But there's a reason why you're not together, right? And sometimes you want to hold on to those heartstrings or whatever. But sometimes you just got to let it go and you got to move on. So for those who can't let it go and move on, then no, you should not start dating and if you still have feelings for your ex, because all you're going to do is compare the next person to your ex. And then all of that little residual stuff is going to keep coming up in your current relationships that you're trying to have.
Well, you said, hold on, I want to bounce off of that. you said something powerful right there, and I love the quote that you said. Let it go. If this is your ex, it's not about disliking them or hating them. Now, in a lot of cases for women, I can understand if it may have been some, physical or mental abuse, right? Because feelings are not always maybe like you still feel like you're in love. It can be like, hey, this person harmed me, so I'm always gonna have a disdain for them. Fair enough, right? But when it comes to certain things, like, hey, if I'm entering a new chapter in my life, why am I focusing on the last chapter? This is a new book. Why am I reading the old book?
Okay.
You can't read two books at the same time and
Yes, you can.
process information. No, you
Yes,
can't.
you can.
Just okay, well,
Okay,
then go ahead, mama.
so sounds like y'all two are giving a textbook answer is what it sounds like
Well,
to
no, we're
me.
not giving it.
I
No, no,
know
no. Hold
she's
on. We're not. Hold on.
I
Hold on.
know
Hold
Dr.
on.
Kim to be is a professor, but no, I'm gonna give you the real
But
ghetto Kansas City MO answer. Yes, you should date someone and getting over your ex under your ex. What is the saying goes? You to get over the old one, you get under a new one. Is that not correct? Is that not correct?
well,
Like
hold on. I know J. Cole said. I know J. Cole said once. Quote. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be. Mama
exactly.
don't. Mama don't want to be saved. Mama do not want to be saved. That's what I'm hearing.
And it goes the same with the guy. Let's say the guy was acting a bleepity bleep fool. I got so much love to give. Mama has so much love to give. So my ex was acting a fool. So I'm going to give it to the new one. So yes, you should date an ex. I mean,
Let me push back on that before we move to the second question, because we gotta go beyond the service level. We're not gonna stay
okay,
on
let's
level
do it.
one. Let's get
Let's
to
do
about
it.
level 5 on this conversation. You said to get over one, you gotta get up under the other one. First of all, I think that's a ridiculous quote, but we're gonna post that everywhere. We're gonna put that on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, Facebook, all of that. Okay, that's a ridiculous quote. But that mindset of, again, there's no way you can start a new book while still reading the other book. It's blended. We're not multitaskers by nature. What I'm saying, so what my point is, if you're trying to use someone else to get over the previous person, you're not able to appreciate the new person that's being presented in front of you.
You said something powerful. Using that person. I'm not using him. I am a very good multitasker. You saw my office. I got laptops right here and laptops over there. I go from one desk to the other desk, and I am very successful at both. So it's not about using. It's about, you know what? This didn't work. This didn't work. And I'm going to take my energy and put it in this device. You
Okay,
understand what I'm saying?
Miss Kim, let's get you in here on this conversation. For you to wrap up this question number one. I want to hear you on your closing thoughts.
Yeah, my closing thoughts is that, it's like it depends on maybe the level. I guess the best way I could describe it is the level of feelings that you still have. Because some people, it's just like, oh, you know what, you was just kind of a
Yeah.
time and place in my life, and I always, you'll always be in my heart, kind of thing. And then there's the, oh my gosh, you know what, we're not together, but I still love you and I still want to be with you, type of thing.
Right.
So, if it's the, oh my goodness, I still love you, still in love with you, and I think I still want to be with you kind of thing, then no, then you need to figure that out first before you try to take on a relationship with someone else. But if it's just you know what, I got love
Yeah.
for you, I care for you in my heart for whatever reason. We got kids together,
Right.
blah, 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 whatever, things just didn't work out. Then yes, absolutely. It's okay to go ahead and move on with somebody, even though you may still have those residual feelings, because
Right.
when you're in a relationship with somebody, there's always going to be some type of residual feelings, but it just depends on that person, how they process those feelings and how deep those feelings are.
Yeah, well, well, before we move to question number 2, I do want to say a side note. Any young brothers out there around the age of 40 and under, please don't get with no woman that got kids beforehand. Please don't get with no. Understand your value. If you 30 and under and you was a black
Wait,
man or a man in general, don't get with no kids that got a woman before getting in a relationship. I want to throw that out there as a side note.
wait, that was a stupid side note. That has nothing to do with the conversation that we having.
Exactly.
It doesn't, but I wanted to say it on my mind. She said something about kids.
But you
So
know what? I
I
can say
wanted
the
to
flip. I can say the flip because there's
absolutely,
still women out here
absolutely.
that's 30 plus that don't have kids, but men out there that do. So
Eli,
I
it
just
can go
I,
either way.
well, I can't. I'm not gonna speak to the black women because they might take it as me talking down to them. So that's why when I'm on a podcast, I'm speaking to the fellow brothers. So I said for the brothers under
Miss
20,
Kenny,
under
shut
30.
up.
Okay, let's go to question number 2. So we're gonna kick it back to you, Mama, because you're saying that you know you have one and you go up on the other one, right? So when the other one, as far as finding the other one, the question leads us to say, how long should you wait before dating again out of a relationship?
So the Bible says, joy.
The Bible?
It's a
the,
Bible, right?
What the
the
Okay,
blankety
Bible,
all right,
blankety?
okay.
You are not led. You are not led by Christ, you sinner. You
the
sucking
Bible
up. Hold
said,
on. You sucking up. You sucking up right now. You talking about the Bible. You mad disrespectful. You mad disrespectful.
it
You
says
mad
joy comes.
disrespectful.
It says joy comes in the morning. Everything is renewed in the morning. So the morning, I just need to
Well,
go.
So are you talking about like the next morning after you break up with somebody?
Is that not what the scripture said? It says, the joy comes in the morning. Your strength is renewed in the morning. There's a new day. There's new blessings. There's new mercies in the morning. So once I go to sleep and wake up, I'm eligible to date again.
I'm gonna say this because I'm very ashamed of your answers on this podcast. It's great content, right? And we will have a post show meeting and talk about this. It's great content. But you should be ashamed of your answers so far. I'm gonna say this, right? There you can't tell somebody a definite time. There's not a golden rule to be like, okay, if I break up or get out of a relationship, you gotta wait 14 months and 25 days. No, what I will say, if a person experience, right, I think there should be a lot of work done before entering a new chapter. Because if you're dating with a purpose, not everyone dates with a purpose, but if you're dating with a purpose towards marriage, right, you want to make sure you're entering a relationship where there's not a lot of baggage. And I think sometimes moving quickly, even my situation I'm in now. Now we're in a phenomenal spot, right? I know I'm going to marry a Destiny or whatever, right? But I waited 9 to 10 months in between. But I think if I would have waited another 4 to 5 months to really harbor down on personal development, right? Pushing myself, right? Doing the internal work. It's not about, oh, give me more time to go over the X. What can I use? How can I use time to better and develop myself? And I think that's get lost. It's not about let me get over this person. It's okay, I got out of the situation. It didn't work. How can I improve? It's not about your previous partner because change is eternal. So you can't change somebody. I can't change Mama. I can't change Miss Kimberly. I can change C-Mac, right? So what did I do as a man, as a leader of a relationship? If it didn't work out, I failed. So what are things that I need to be doing over this time period and prove to myself for an extended period of time before I try to go lead another woman? Because if you fail one time leading and being in a relationship and you rush again, you're gonna fail again. You need time and you need to work on yourself.
Yeah. Well,
Miss
I'm gonna
Kimberly?
let her. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I absolutely, you know what? I absolutely agree with what both of you all said, because once you're done with the relationship, no matter what the circumstances are, you should always keep your heart open because you never know who's going to come in your life. So it's not like, so like Mama said, I mean, just wake up tomorrow and it's like I'm available, but that doesn't necessarily mean that tomorrow I'm going out hunting, I'm going out fishing, I'm going out looking, right? It's like what you said, son, kind of take some time to self-reflect and look at myself and work on myself and making sure that I can be a better person. Not to say that maybe I was the person that was at fault in the relationship, but still, nobody's perfect, right? So making sure
Speak to
that
yourself.
girl, whatever. Anyway, making sure that like I can be the best person for this next person, because like son said, we don't want to start bringing baggage into any type of future relationship. Now, as we know at our old head age, I mean, it's like we all got a past, right? So, and we all have things that may trigger us from our past, and may have failed to communicate, or just different things. So making sure that we are at a space of peace in our heart and our mind and our lives, to make sure that when we encounter someone else, because I'll tell you, like with my current relationship, I wasn't kind of really looking for anybody. And it was just kind of like boom. I mean, it was 2 years after my divorce. And this person just kind of came into my life, and things are going wonderful, and things are just moving forward. And we both talked about it quite a bit. We One thing we do talk about is our past. We talk about our past relationships, or like past even incidents. Good. We've talked about the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you want to be in a relationship with somebody, especially at our time, our station in our lives, you have to be open to talk about everything. You can't just talk about, oh, I'm with you now, this is day one, and we're gonna start from here, let's go.
Okay, so there again, you and Christian gave the cute answer, and that was very cute, very PhD.
All right, come on, mama.
Like, so I gotta put the closing stamp on this, on y'all cuteness. I think there is a difference depending on your age group, because we talked about the old heads. I remember when Christian first got his heart broken. It was mom, and he couldn't eat for 6 months, and he couldn't sleep, and he just couldn't process, and he just could not move. I get it, because that was first heartbreak. He was skinny as a bone. He came, and I didn't even recognize who he was.
Oh.
So, but our age, the old head edition, we take a hitting and we keep on licking. It's a little bit different.
What? Licking what? What are you licking? What the?
Oh my gosh!
What the blankety?
You take a hit and you keep on licking. So my point is, we gonna get shot, but like with Christian needed mom. Mom had to take the bullet out.
So let me put
the alcohol in the bandage. I can take it out, bandage, and keep going. It's a little bit different.
Let me interject there, because I hear this a lot from people that's older, and I respect the experience 100%, right? But I'm tired of hearing about, oh, at my age we know more, and we don't have to follow certain time codes and this and that. Stop it, because again, if you are connected to the word, right, and you really understand things spiritually, we're not in control of time. Knock on wood, but no, hold on. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I outlive Mamba, Miss Kimberly, but that's not guaranteed, right? We're not in control of timing. We're not in control. We so often think because we've experienced certain things, or we've accomplished certain things, or we've reached a certain age or number, that now, it's now our time to decide when our fortunes turn. It's now our time to decide when we're ready to do certain thing, a relationship, an activity, or career change. But it's like, hold on. If you're saying that you're led by Christ, or you know God, or you understand what life is about as far as experiences, hey, bro, that's not the way. And if you keep trying to choose that you're making the right decision, a lot of times that's the reason why you still aren't where you need to be at, because you still think that you can make that decision and not take a step back and do the improvement.
I got it. No, first of all, I'm doing the improvement. I never said no.
I'm not saying you. Don't personalize it. Let's keep it on a broader standpoint.
It's Mama Knows breast, so I got to personalize it. So one thing that you're missing is, do you not know time is an illusion? Yes, we do.
That's what I just said.
No, that's not what you said. Time is an illusion. It doesn't take it may take you 6 months to heal. It may not take me 6 months to heal. God said in one day it's like 1,000 years, and like 1,000 years is one day. So all I got to do is go to sleep and wake up.
But also meeting a new person can continue to help you on your journey of healing too.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you don't have to sit there and wait until, oh, I'm healed and I'm ready. If you can meet a person who's on a healing journey also, and they can help you heal too, because healing does not have to be a lonely process.
Well, hold on, Doc. So let me push back on that, Dr. Kimberly. So we got Dr. Kimberly. Can we check the verification on that? Hey, Riz, when we put our little bio blast up, can we check her qualifications? Okay. Hey, Riz, my producer, the backbone, the face of the podcast. Shout out, Riz. Can we check that she's a doctor? First of all, let me push back on that. Right, as far as a person can help you heal. That again is a fatal flaw in the black community. In black relationships and in black households, we are so programmed to be trauma bonded. And we say, oh, this we can try this route. But how many healthy relationships do we know in a lot of our families? How many successful marriages do we know in a lot of our families? Because people aren't doing the work. They're like, hey, I'm hurt. You're hurt. We have some shared experiences. Let's trauma bond. And that's not moving the needle. And we have the evidence that black women, by any more,
You better tread lightly. You
hold
better
on.
tread
Let
lightly.
me bring it home. Black women, more than any of the demographic women, right? White, Latino, Asian, whatever. Around 50% of them are single mothers. So when I say that, it's not an attack on black women. It's even more of an attack on hold on. It's even more of an attack on black men. But again,
Okay.
it comes down to the identification process, and it comes down to, am I picking the right people or am I trauma bonding?
But it doesn't always have to be a trauma bond, though, because that healing journey could be something positive. Because you could have been in a relationship for years and then you met somebody new. And you know what? In this new relationship, as you all are building your own journey together, you all could experience things that you have never experienced before. Because I'll tell you, I was married for 17 years, together for almost 20. But I'll tell you, in my 2-year relationship that I'm in now, I've experienced things that I never even experienced in my marriage. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a trauma bond, because as you're working together and healing and building your life together, your relationship together, your life, whatever you want for your future, then you focus on that and not the trauma part at all.
Right.
Real
Right.
talk. Mama, go ahead and get the last word. Take us home.
No, the last word is I really appreciate you saying that, Kim. I know if we're talking about culture, like, they want to put on us as trauma bonds, but in the white community, it's business endeavors where, we make a good couple because of your salary, our salary. But guess what? The snow bunny is sneaking over with our black man. So
That part.
so we can end this. So the moral of the story is go to sleep and wake up.
Okay,
Bye.
so hey, well, I got one more thing to say, Dr. Kimberly. Thank you for coming on. This has been a phenomenal episode. Mama, you were out of control, but I got one more thing to say. Bye.
Bye.